Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes! We are the elite, and you are the weak! No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet! Red alert, this is gonna hurt! When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek! We are the elite, and you are the weak, and I will always get back up on my feet. Why are they alive?
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone aside, Phillip Brandon, joined by Brandon Tanguma, just us again. We should get Marley back on here in a week or so. Episode 430, man, 430 consecutive weeks, man. We out here doing this ish. Hello.
Yep. You know, about 420.
They all count. I don't want to hear that. They all count.
Okay.
They all count. I think it's us and Sam Roberts, the only consecutive wrestling podcast weekly for years. Probably maybe the only two consecutive podcasts for years.
Yeah, no one fact checked that. That's definitely right.
No, on the wrestling side, I that's a guarantee. For other forms of digital media audio, I'm not sure. Nonetheless, we are back. Outside the ring, Corey Graves and Carmella are expecting their second child. Saw Carmella when I was at WrestleCon. She looked fantastic. Couldn't even tell. Hello.
Yeah, shout out. Congratulations to them. I mean, they've been together for quite some time. Corey has kids from a previous relationship, so one big happy family.
Right. Hogan and Bischoff are back, brother. The real American freestyle wrestling is about to get started. The RAFW.
Yeah, what was it? Monday, they dropped a cryptic NWO video, and everyone's like, the hell does this even mean? Is like, they're gonna buy a wrestling company? Are they gonna like do the meet and greet circuit as the NWO, even though, you know, there's no Scott Hall and Kevin Nash is kind of doing his own thing right now? Nope, it was probably the last thing anyone suspected, a freestyle professional amateur wrestling thing.
Brother.
Yep. What does that even mean? Phillip, you know, you're the amateur wrestling guy. It doesn't seem as though amateur wrestling, there's like a big spot for it, but there is like a professional circuit kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the Olympics and, like, obviously the most pro you can be as an amateur is college and the Olympics and whatnot. So I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna have to. Maybe people will have gimmicks and shoot matches. I don't know. But we're gonna have to see. Are they gonna try to script shoot wrestling, bro?
Yeah, and I mean, like, there is like some sort of professional wrestling. I don't know about like a circuit, but like there are like professional amateur wrestlers, like not in the Olympics. Like, I don't know how
they're not deemed professional. They're amateur wrestlers just at a higher level.
Just not in college or in the Olympics.
Yeah, so somewhere in between. We're gonna have to wait to see about that. Let's get into SmackDown. John Cena and Randy Orton's promo. Orton is talking to Cena like, "What the hell's wrong with you, man? You've gone crazy. You need to have some damn kids and soften up." Cena tells him, like, "I don't need to have kids. I'm doing this for me for 25 years. These, the people have been mean to me, etc., etc." Yeah. What are your teas, man?
Once again, Cena, just his whole heel shtick is just going after the fans, and it's gotten real old real quick. I mean, I was already kind of over it after like week 2.
I mean, they criticized him for 15 years. I mean, he can do this for a long time.
I mean, he can, but I mean, I just feel as though television-wise, it gets very repetitive, and finally, like, there is a little bit where they're like actually kind of going after each other a little bit, because I think like that whole Cody feud, it almost felt as though Cody wasn't even like a part of it. It was just like John Cena turned heel. He's going to be he's going after the championship, but it's not really about the champion. It's about just the championship itself. But yeah, the crowd reaction to Cena is not exactly how you want it to be, but they turned him when he was finally like universally cheered. And we'll talk about, I mean, at least I'll talk about another segment on Raw where I think it's showcasing exactly how much the crowd is not quote unquote playing along with WWE storylines.
The crowd is fickle. It's just that. Cena
But
told
they haven't been. The last few years, the crowds have been pretty much in line with the stories. And then seemingly ever since John Cena came up, the crowd reactions have been very quizzical.
do, 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 do. Cena. One of the key points of this promo, Cena also told Orton, like, I have 17, you have 14. When I leave, they're gonna create a new title. You have to start back at 1. I was like, oh, okay. I like that. I like that aspect. I guess the real question is, how long will John Cena have this? Do you think they will wind down the clock? Like, oh my God, we're in October, we're in November. He's still the champ. He could really leave.
Yeah, that's the big question for me. I think it's either going to end at SummerSlam or it's going to end
Or
sometime in December. I know there's like a Saturday Night's Main Event or something around that time.
Ric Flair, he's what, a 21 or 22 time world champ. Do you think they do that? John loses and then he gets it right back. Do you think we get like 2 more reigns out of John Cena before he's gone?
Maybe. I mean, allegedly, Ric Flair is still under contract with AEW, even though AEW says he's not. I don't know. That's a whole thing over there. Tony Khan, let Nature Boy get one last run with it.
Come on now. Hello. Let's see what's going on. The TLC 3-way was fantastic.
Yep. I mean, very fun, a lot of action. The
WrestleMania worthy.
One might say. The finishing sequence with the spear, that seemed very contrived and it was set up very meticulously and everyone had to be in the right spot, which, everyone be safe, but sometimes
I mean, it was a kind of a callback to Edge and Jeff, but except they had a table right there.
I mean, yeah, the shout out to the prosthetic leg got used during the match. I saw a video from the other person's perspective, in the crowd. Yeah. The good old days of like ECW where the crowd would bring their own weapons and the wrestlers would use them.
Yeah, no. Oasis, we've done that a couple times. Fans bring the weapons. They bring that back. You never know.
There you
But
go.
overall, these 3 teams, they delivered. This was excellent.
Yeah, very solid. 3-way match, tag team match. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the tag team division holds over there on SmackDown.
All right. Aleister Black is back with his old theme. Hits the black mass on The Miz. The Miz wearing a white suit.
Kind of hit the black mass. He kicked his shoulder.
I mean, a man at that velocity with that, yeah, that'd knock a normal man down, Miz wearing a white suit similar to when Aleister Black showed up in AEW as Malachi Black and Cody was wearing a white suit.
There you go. Long-term storytelling. He's still selling that eye from 2020.
That's a work. That's why I've always liked him. He's a worker, brother. He commits to the bit wherever he goes, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a big Aleister Black fan since the NXT days, and I thought WWE could have got more out of him in the first run. AEW could have got more out of him. At this point, I question, is it more him than the company seeing something in him? I don't know.
I mean, when he was stuck in a trios. I thought, he came in, he beat Cody. I thought maybe, like, honestly, my guy could have got a TNT title run. There are a lot of those guys that could have got a TNT title run, and it could have been useful and helped elevate guys, but that didn't happen. He's back. We'll see where he lands in the fray. Starting off with The Miz is not a bad start. I mean, I'm sure, with The Miz's relationship with Carmelo, who won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Shout out to Melo Don't Miss. Melo and Aleister Black, that's going to hit.
I mean, there's in-ring wise a bunch of different matches that could be good, but it's just like, will there be any stakes? Will people care about it? And is it just going to be a throwaway like 10-minute match on SmackDown just to fill time because it's 3 hours?
Hey man, we'll get there. That's not the only happy thing that happened in the Black household. There is a new United States Women's Champion in Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega dethroned Chelsea Green to win the championship. Congratulations to her first singles championship in WWE. Obviously, former women's tag team champion and Queen's Crown winner.
Yeah, they've been building this little feud for a little bit, and they finally culminated with the title switch. That being said, I see like Zelina Vega kind of falling in the Lyra Valkyria role to where she's a babyface that's not particularly over, and she can have like decent matches, and I just don't know what they can do with that secondary women's title with
I mean,
Zelina Vega.
I feel like they could have got more legs out of Chelsea Green. I feel like she had more to do with that championship.
And I think it just comes down to the fact that Chelsea Green has like a character that people care about. I just don't see that with Zelina Vega. Like people like her, but they don't like her for going like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's all a different discussion. We'll talk about that Bulletcast after dark.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm just out here rambling. I'm a little
I
sick.
love you, Solo. Jacob Fatu, the men's U.S. champion, the champion of our country. Our president is Samoan. How do you feel, bro?
Out here repping the Raiders with his little 42 Fatu jersey.
Hello.
Uh,
All gas, no brakes with it. Jacob Fatu, just soaking it in. Drew McIntyre comes out there. L.A. Knight, yeah, comes out there. Yeah, we gonna see what's gonna happen with this U.S. title picture. Starting to pick up.
yeah, and I think there's still like a little tension between Solo and Fatu, but they're definitely not overtly showcasing it like they were a couple months ago. So I wonder if either that was a change of plan or it's just, they're going to dial it back a little bit and then rev it up again whenever they want to pay that off.
Hello. Jade and Tiffany have a match. It's interrupted by Naomi and Nia. Are we gonna get a female little bloodline coalition going on right here?
Quite possibly. This match was the typical, oh, they're actually going to wrestle each other.
They were doing something. They were doing something.
Well, that's the thing is that, oh, they're actually going to have a match together. But then here we come. Here comes Naomi, and here's the crap finish. So we don't actually get.
I mean, to keep Jade strong and Tiffany just retained against the Queen. Yeah, you get this. This was the way out.
Well, once again, all all these non-finishes, you can make an excuse for them, but when you're having these non-finishes all the time,
for this particular match, yes, this made sense to do.
but then when it's the random tag team matches that, I think someone could take a pinfall loss. Okay.
Okay, but then what do you do after that?
You just have another match or you tell a different story.
Then do they win or do they lose?
That's what the higher-ups are there for.
This is all going to be on WWE Unreal.
People win and people lose. Okay, the Triple H.
Then, if you have the champion lose a regular match, then okay, well, all right, cool. I don't know. I guess if Tiffany were to lose, like, sure, she lost to Jade, but then okay, so then Jade should be the number one contender, and then what? Does Tiffany fight more because the title's on the line? I guess theoretically you could say that, but then there are multiple avenues and things you have to look at and things to discuss when booking and things like that.
I would say
again, this is all going to be on the new show.
Tiffany could just beat Jade. If you want to do a little distraction with Naomi, that's perfectly fine. But Tiffany can beat Jade. Jade is still going to clearly do something with
How many times has Jade actually lost?
She's lost one time.
Yeah, like I feel like if the next time she loses, it should be a bigger match. Like a title should be on the line.
There's no bigger match than having a match with the champion.
There is if the title's on the line.
Well, second biggest match. I don't know.
The quintessential match, if you will. Yeah, let's go into Inside the Ring. Queen Charmel is returning to the ring in a couple weeks here. She's getting back in the ring since the first time in 2009.
Okay, shout out Queen Charmel.
Yes, as one returns to the ring, another one has left the ring. Miko Satomura, the former WWE Women's UK champion, has retired. Man,
she wrestled on WCW Nitro, so that shows how long she's been doing this.
Yes. Great, a great competitor, an inspiration to many. She's up there with the Miami Toyotas and the Aja Kongs and the Bull Nakanos.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 30-year career, damn near, if not more.
Yes, longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, and like Japanese women, especially like in that era, sometimes would only wrestle like in their teenage years and early 20s and then never come back again. So, I mean, shout out her for having such a long career and successful career.
Absolutely. Um, TNA Rebellion.
Yeah, TNA Rebellion happened this week, happened on Sunday. Joe Hendry retains the championship in the
Do you
three-way.
believe in Joe Hendry?
I think everyone has to believe in Joe Hendry. Now, is Joe Hendry, a top guy to build the entire company around? I don't know about that.
So I heard this take on the Cheap Heat podcast. Shout out to that guy, Greg. Um, do you think people are actually behind Joe Hendry, or are they just behind him because the internet is and the song is catchy?
I mean, I may have made the
In
exact
ring wise, are people behind Joe Hendry? I'm sorry.
I think well, it's the chicken or the egg thing. Like I say with Seth Rollins. Do people actually care about Seth Rollins, or do they like cheering a song?
People actually care about Seth Rollins. He's been there. I mean, been there long enough. The matches he's put on, excellent. The character work, which I mean, we're going to talk about. He's about to tap into probably even more of the best work he's ever done. People care about Seth Rollins.
I'm not going to sit here and say I watch TNA every single week, so I don't know exactly, but it does feel like, the TNA audience is kind of like, adopted Joe Hendry and like that's their guy. But, big fish, small pond, I think might be the case because, people did like Joe Hendry at WrestleMania. They know about him, but I just don't know how much you can like go with him. But
the argument on the podcast was like he got that reaction because the song goes around TikTok and IG and it's catchy.
I think if we're just strictly talking about like WrestleMania, I think there's a lot of people in that crowd who are like, oh yeah, I remember Joe Hendry. He was the guy at the Royal Rumble. He had the TikTok song.
They probably just saw him at WrestleCon earlier that day.
Yeah, and then he's going up against Randy Orton and then, losing 3 minutes. But I think people, if you had to poll everybody there, they probably said, I care more about Randy Orton than Joe Hendry. And it probably would have been like 95% to 5%.
It would have been what? How many people were there? 64,000. It would have been, 63,000 people cared about Randy Orton. Get 1,000 to care about Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway,
Indy Hartwell, she's gonna be a part of the TNA Knockouts division.
Yes, love to see that. Saw her roaming around WrestleCon. What you call it? Congratulations to the Nemeth, Nick and Ryan, the new TNA Tag Team Champions, and then Leon Slater. Jesus Christ! Oh, brother said he's okay.
Yep, that had a little talk on the internet. Was it Ricky Morton? Ricky Morton said, "Brother, come on, we gotta protect ourselves." There was like 7 people there. No one caught him.
That he fell right through the middle. I was like, oh my god, that was crazy.
Yep,
crazy. All right, let's get into Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins makes Sami Zayn pay. There's a promo segment with Rollins, Breaker, and Heyman. Sami Zayn comes out there and says, like, no, you're just like Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And eventually we get to a backstage segment, and Heyman's like, we can guarantee you a way out. If you go to SmackDown, you will get the winner of Randy Orton versus John Cena. Oh, that's happening at Backlash in St. Louis, if you didn't know. Cena versus Orton WWE title. They said, Sami, you will get the winner of that. Then it leads to later on in the night, Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. He's just getting speared left, right, up, and down the middle. Eventually they ends in a no contest, and Seth Rollins stomps him, obliterates him. What are your teas?
So I'm gonna start positive first, okay? I did like the show long story of like, tune in to see what Sami Zayn does. What is his decision going to be? That's about it. Why is Seth Rollins still with the catchy theme song that everyone sings to? I was hoping we would get some sort of evolution, some sort of, difference in the Seth Rollins character, but no, he comes out.
You said evolution? You want him to walk out to the evolution music?
I mean, at least that's something, well, people probably are going to sing to that too, but you're trying, clearly it's a heel turn, and Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman are supposed to be heels, yet Seth still comes out the same exact way he was. He doesn't have a new theme song, like Finn Balor, Nakamura, hell, Chris Jericho changes the theme song because you don't want people singing your song, and then that played out.
Everybody turns heel and changes their music.
Okay, but who has theme songs that everyone sings along to?
Randy. I mean, people were singing the game when Hunter was on his reign of terror. Let's not act like we weren't. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, then you cut to the
John
end.
Cena technically right now.
You cut to the ending where I thought the delivery, Seth Rollins, I thought played his role nicely. Like, he clearly kind of morphed into more of a heelish guy by the end of the show, more positive. But you have Sami Zayn, who's one of the most sympathetic babyface characters you have on the entire roster in wrestling history in like the past 25 years outside like Daniel Bryan. And yet you're getting people chanting one more time to spear him again. And the crowd reaction completely was not what they were looking for, obviously.
The fans are fickle. The fans are fickle.
They were chanting one more time. They were cheering for the clearly heel duo or trio. Also, I kind of wish Paul Heyman would talk more, because I think if Paul Heyman were to grab it and talk and be like the forward guy, he probably could turn the fans against him. But Seth Rollins, this is not his forte. If Paul Heyman was the whole reason this whole thing existed, and yet he's just kind of in the background, not really saying much outside of that backstage segment with Sami Zayn. And so 2 weeks in, I'm not exactly enthralled with this.
Let it play out, man. We have to give this time, bro. Like, in Seth's mind, he is still right. He's the visionary. He's the guy that said, we're going to take this to new heights, but we have to get rid of CM Punk, and we can't let Roman Reigns get back in power.
And that was the other thing. He name dropped CM Punk. The entire crowd booed CM Punk and was behind Seth Rollins. Like, that was not happening at all during the during WrestleMania. Everyone was clearly like,
where were they at? Where was this?
They were in Kansas City, which is another thing. Is like, Kansas City is not Philadelphia or New York. It's, middle America, shout out, but you don't expect them to be the bizarro world. I think this is kind of the bed WWE's laid right now with these crowd reactions. We saw with Dominic. I think they acknowledged that because Dominic wasn't in front of the live crowd this week, right? So maybe they're trying to quiet that little momentum he had to keep him a heel.
People like Dominic. Well, they joined in on the booing because they just wanted to be a part of the show. But they like this guy. I mean, how could you?
But I think that's the problem. Is WWE has catered the fans and said like, "Oh, be a part of the show. Be a part of these moments. Sing Seth Rollins' song. Boo Dominic Mysterio. Chant one more time. Chant what? Chant all these things, but don't actually care about what's going on in the ring.
Roman Reigns, all that.
Do the "Let's go Cena sucks" chant when sometimes you can see the same persons chanting both sides.
I mean, that is. I mean, yeah. Back in the day, it was the women and children. Let's go Cena, and it was the men. Let Cena sucks. Look, Rollins in his mind is still a good guy, so that's why the song is the same and all these things. He's not upset with the audience. He's upset with certain people, them being CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
And I think because they're not going straight away to Punk or Roman, they're not really playing the Paul Heyman card because they want to save that for later. But Paul Heyman's one of the best managers, talkers of all time, and he's just silently behind Seth. And yes, I know it's only week 2, so we could get more.
Yes, it is.
But I think the music's a big deal. You need to change Seth Rollins' music.
I mean, let's let it play out. We may get there. Speaking of Paul Heyman, he was on the Stephanie Places episode of The Bloodline. Go check that out. It's on Twitter. I sent it to you. Full episode.
I saw.
Yeah. Go watch it.
Yes, sir.
I haven't finished yet. Speaking of Bloodline, Jey Uso, the World Heavyweight Champion, Yeet, is out there with Logan Paul. Logan Paul says, "I'm about to end your world title reign faster than your IC title reign ended," and then he catches a super kick to the face. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jey and Logan Paul is going to be the first world title feud.
Yeet.
I know the internet might not be the biggest fan of it. I think it's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't have too much of an issue with it, but I can see why people might not like it because, people might not love Jey Uso as like a champion, and then obviously Logan Paul has his own issues.
These motherfuckers out here yeeting and buying his merch. They love this guy. I don't want. See, that's another thing that was on Cheap Heat from Stat Guy Greg. He because like how he just talked about the Joe Hendry thing was a source of the internet just liking him. Jey Uso getting the hate on the internet is just the internet being the internet. Yeah, it's a whole thing, bro. Y'all like Jey Uso. He's the world champion. Yeet. Hello. Get over it. Becky Lynch cuts a promo. She attacked Bayley.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Becky promo was solid. Once again, crowd was kind of into Becky, and it's like a whole thing of like, I don't think Becky is as over as she used to be, but I think it's because of that original heel turn that's definitely foiled her momentum. And the crowd was kind of behind her, but then I thought Lyra Valkyria made like made a solid comeback and kind of had her, had the crowd behind her, by the end of it. But I
Keep
think it's
going. I
gonna
have
be,
to answer this phone call.
but I think it's gonna be an uphill battle for the majority of this feud because every single time you're going to a new city and the crowds are gonna pop for Becky and not really care too much about Lyra. Now, I think Lyra still is one of the most talented in ring women's wrestlers they have on that roster, but then it's like, character wise, like she's the bird lady. She's the nice bird lady next door. Like, but you're not gonna like want to hang out with her and talk to her.
Oh my God, Lyra's giving a bird bath. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know what's going on here. Should Dakota have just won this championship? Would we have gotten more out of Dakota Kai?
Maybe. I mean, shout out to Dakota Kai. She broke the internet the other day by showing off her curls.
Shout out to the curls. I mess with the curls. Hopefully they make a debut on Raw.
Shout out.
Yeah. Uh. I don't know. Pat McAfee cut a promo.
Yeah, stood up on the announce desk and cut a very passionate promo. I thought it was very good from McAfee. Could have done without like the swearing and stuff, especially if they're gonna censor it, because it's like, okay, obviously if you cuss, it's gonna get over the crowd, but not everybody cusses, so it's kind of like the whole CM Punk pipe bomb thing. Like, okay, yeah, you got over because you said things you're not allowed to say. Could have done
Well,
without
I
the whole
mean,
SmackDown Adam Pierce line from McAfee. I thought that
hold
completely
on,
like
what do you
was
say?
just he said SmackDown Adam Pierce, bring your ass out here to make the match official, which I thought was very disrespectful to I almost wanted to say his TNA name. See, now he's messing me up because I'm forgetting his name.
Nick
And
Aldis?
not Nick Nemeth. It's Nick Aldis. Thank you, Philip. That's why you're here.
You were gonna say his TNA name? You were gonna say Magnus?
Yeah, I was gonna say Magnus. I was gonna say Magnus, but then I was thinking TNA, which then I was thinking Nick Nemeth, but I knew that wasn't Nick
Impact.
Nemeth. It was
It was NWA TNA you were thinking about.
I'm in a pretzel.
It was those weekly pay-per-views for what were they, like $9 a week?
Anyways,
Back
we're
in
gonna
the day.
get Gunther and McAfee at Backlash. Who knows if Gunther will show up next week or if he's just gonna show up to Backlash in
Gunther,
a week and a
the
half or 2
ring
weeks.
general Gunther. He has a great theme song. That theme song's fine.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a singable theme song. Now, if he kept the Mein Kampf or not Mein Kampf. Ooh, that's a different
Ring
thing.
Camp?
Ring Comp. Uh,
In
the
what is it?
Imperial, like the
Imperium? Yeah.
classical song. That one probably would have got over a little bit because that's a little more catchy, a little more sing-songy. But yeah,
I like Gunther's theme is very Final Bosses ish. I like it. Let's talk about the Redeemer coming to Raw. Rusev's here to redeem himself.
yeah, pretty much.
He had it all. He had the tank. It was all gone.
Yeah, pretty much as you said, the Redeemer, the AEW gimmick on WWE. I think that also quiets that we're gonna get any new additions to the Heyman stable. No Becky Lynch. Seems like no Miro. Yeah.
I think just let it run with Seth, Braun, and Heyman for a second.
I still wonder where he slots. I'm much higher on Aleister Black than Miro, but I think at the end of the day, Aleister Black still will be higher than Miro. But I wouldn't be shocked if Miro, gets a little bit more of a push out the gate. But we'll have to wait and see on that.
Io saves Rhea from Julia and Roxanne. The genius of the sky, the women's world champion, coming to the rescue.
Yeah, the whole NXT women stuff, I still don't like completely understand. Like Roxanne, it seems as though she's like a part of the Raw roster
I
now,
mean, she's been here for a minute.
which is fine. I still think she's much better as a babyface than a heel.
She hit the Raw debut patch, bro. She's on Raw.
Yeah, so it has to be real.
It's
Julia,
what was Adam Pearce say? It's official.
it's official. Then Julia, she kind of turned heel because the fans picked Stephanie Vakir over her.
A simple heel turn. I love it.
And I think her character still needs some issues. And then, Stephanie Vakir, like I get it, she's the NXT Women's Champion. I think she can be like something on the main roster, but I think you want to keep her in NXT until you're like really ready with her.
Absolutely.
But
I'm just sad Julia didn't really get a run with the title.
Who would have thought Triple H finally gets the book and he's kind of messing up or not utilizing the NXT talent properly? Who would have seen that coming? After all those years of subtly burying Vince,
When did he subtly bury Vince?
just being very political and just talking about all we can control is what we do here on NXT, and we would like to have a plan planned out for people on the main roster, but yeah,
Oh,
all those NXT
it's not his NXT anymore. It's
great
Sean's.
take it was it Chef Michaels, that was the kids called him?
Chef Sean RD. Hello. AEW. That's still around. Huh?
Yep, AEW still a thing. They kicked off with the All-Star 8-man tag. Was it Kenny, Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and what was the new guy they just hired from New Japan? Michael something. Terrible. All right. Thanks a lot, Phillip. But anyways, 4-way, and they took on like the elite guys, and the elite won with Ricochet on the heel side. But yeah, I mean the match was like a half hour long, and it was pretty solid. We're gonna get Samoa Joe and Jon Moxley in a steel cage in 2 weeks at Beach Break. So good on that, I guess. Still would suspect Jon Moxley gets the win. The latest update with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley declined MJF's invitation to the Hurt Syndicate, and he said that MJF has to hurt someone to prove himself. So I don't know what that means. Is MJF gonna lay somebody out? Is he gonna, have to win a match to join the Hurt Syndicate? I think we kind of gotta wrap up this MJF saga because it does kind of keep getting repetitive of like everyone's thumbs up or thumbs down, and then finally the lone Owen Hart Cup match, the final Owen Hart Cup match before we get to Double or Nothing. Hangman Adam Page defeated Kyle Fletcher in a phenomenal match. So it's going to be Hangman Adam Page and Will Ospreay on the men's side, and on the women's side, it's going to be Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing for the Owen Hart Championship or whatever Crown Cup thing.
So the TBS champ, right?
Yep, she's still 4 belts, Moné.
Money. I mean, when was the last time she defended this TBS championship?
Well, she's been a little preoccupied with this title or with this tournament thus far. Mercedes.
She's trying to be 5 belts. Money.
Let's see.
Money.
Cage match. Let's see. Oh, she wrestled at Rev Pro on the 20th.
I love it. Well,
she defended the TBS title against Billy Starks on March 19th.
Love to see it.
2025.
Well, that's gonna do it for all the wrestling talk here. Oasis Pro Thousand Oaks Throwdown is going on this Sunday. Come check it out. You don't want to miss it. It's going down. It is a free community event. Brandon, will you be there? No, you won't.
I have to check my schedule. I think I might be working that day, though.
Okay. It's May 4th, 12 p.m. All ages, free food and drinks. Where is this located at? Dun, 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 dun.
I may have looked it up. I believe, isn't that some like community center thing?
Yes. 840 Calusa Avenue. Doors are at 12 p.m. It will be on YouTube and Berkeley Community TV Media. Come check us out. The New Era Savage, Big Toco, Juicy Finale will be in the building. And also AEW star Toa Leona will be there as well. Wow. No, that's it. Not
Big show. It's free show. That's always
free. It is a free show. Come check it out. Y'all don't want to miss it. As always, be safe and stay dangerous,